In a video game, if you come across an empty room with a health pack, extra ammo, and a save point, you know some serious shit is about to go down. What is the real life equivalent of this? Walking through hours to a meeting room that's been booked for you. Coming home to all your friends and family, but it's not your birthday. Someone you don't know asks for you, using your full name. It's usually a semi-government agency, and it's never free cupcakes. Waking up and having a lot of missed calls from family members. Your parents bringing you your favorite food and talking in a higher voice. Air raid sirens on a nice summer day. When all the higher ups suddenly start taking their accumulated vacations. That's when you know the company is about to blow and it's time to find a job before you find yourself without one. Follow-up doctor's appointment after a medical test and the receptionist tells you to bring a friend when they schedule the visit. This happened to my wife. Long story short, cancer. She has been cancer-free for 15 years after treatment. When your co-workers are super busy and you're just kinda not busy, but every time you go to take work off their hands or pick up projects, they say no, it's fine, I can take care of it, and then your work starts getting offloaded onto them as well. Your doctor wants to see you in person to discuss the results. When a courier asks you to sign for a package, and it's a manila envelope. Middle of the day, the sky turns green. If you can use all your material for an exam, you know you are gonna need it. When a friend who's been struggling with depression for a while suddenly brightens up, becomes very generous, or wants to get all their friends together for a party, etc. They're saying goodbye. Water in the beach retreats dozens of yards inexplicably. Seeing a suspiciously huge amount of policemen strolling around. ? As a child, knowing that you've done something you shouldn't have, and as you eat dinner your parents suddenly go silent and look at you. When I was first dating my now wife, we got tested for STDs at the same time. When we went back for the results, we went into separate rooms, and 5 minutes later she walked by, gave me a thumbs up, and said I'll wait in the waiting room. The doctor left me there for 15 minutes. 15 minutes during which I became more and more convinced that my ill-spent youth had resulted in me picking up something terrible. Every minute getting more convinced it was HIV. Complete dread. Thinking out how I'd explain to my friends and family how I'd spend the rest of my time. AIDS was still a death sentence, unless you were a pro basketball player. Finally I walked out and asked for the doctor. Oh, you're still here? All clear. Have a nice day. When someone hits you with a "we need to talk" text. 4 new voicemails. 45 plus new messages on your phone and the door suddenly rings. Edit. Thank you for making one of the worst feelings my highest rated comment. Recent experience. 11 PM in a particularly rough neighborhood. Random guy on a bicycle calls out from a distance and is riding towards us at an alarming pace. Me and my friend stand firm expecting trouble as the cyclist slows his pace. Cyclist, Geo. Keep walking. Friend, what? Cyclist begins to pick up pace again. Cyclist, madness just happened down the road. Keep moving. Friend, say no more. Couple minutes later police sirens ring out a couple blocks over. Found out the next day someone's body was found chopped up and left out in the street. If you're a kid in a hospital and you get a visit from the Avengers, well. When the company you work for hires consultants to take an unbiased outside look at the company and maybe offer a few suggestions how we can improve and find hidden potential for streamlining our processes. Your boss asks for meeting on Friday at 5 PM. When you do something you know you're supposed to be in trouble for, but your mom is all quiet and sad, but nice to you. Walking into a classroom and everyone has buried their noses into the textbooks instead of chatting. Hours being present in a meeting you've been invited to. Weather-related incidents are usually come in the build up, with animals suddenly starting to freak out. You should sit down. Take a seat. Shut the door. Coming in early for a quick chat with your boss and all the partners are there. Your parents take you to a nice dinner before some family news. Edit. Just wanted to say holy shit, I think that's the most upvoted comment of mine ever. My parents did this to me when they found my cigarettes when I was 17. and told me they'd stop paying for my car if I continued to smoke. Professionally, when the judge starts a hearing by silently reading the papers in front of him/her while scowling in your direction. Personally, your so acts shifty before saying we need to talk. When the person in the white coat firmly, yet calmly, asks you to take a seat. I walk into the interview room. There's a glass of water on the table with a full Brita filter next to it O_O. Turn on your TV. What channel? Doesn't matter. Inspired by a Reddit comment. When you are walking through the woods and everything gets silent, no crickets, no birds, nothing. In war, before they send you into your likely death, they'd often feed you much better than usual. A couple years ago, my 3-month-old son had an emergency MRI on his brain, just to rule out some very unlikely possibilities. We were supposed to be called to the anesthesia recovery room in a couple hours, but got called after like 90 minutes. On our way there, the doctor caught my wife and I right before we got to the room and pulled us into the first random empty room he found. Needless to say, he had terrible news for us. I would say the feeling of being pulled into that room felt exactly like I was preparing for the hardest moment of my life. I very rarely comment, but this seemed to match eerily close to your question. Edit. Just wanted to clarify that my son did not pass away. He is alive and well. He was diagnosed with tuberous sclerosis. He has multiple seizures each day and is developmentally delayed. But he is the sweetest boy in the world and I wouldn't trade him for anything. You should invite a trusted co-worker or member of your union to this meeting.